Hey, my name is Akellia Bernard. I'm from Jamaica. I speak Creole Patois and also English. I'm here to talk about basically that you shouldn't drop your first language or at least your first accent or just the way you speak or your heritage first before you learn how to speak English or a different language because it is what makes you you. So when I was in Jamaica and I was going to school, they told me to learn how to turn it off and turn it on, and that is called, it's probably not the exact word as I said it, but it is learning how to switch your language off and on, because that will make you a little bit more sophisticated. So since I learned how to do this, I think it probably is a little bit entertaining just to tell a story in English and in Jamaican, which shows that it will make it, it doesn't make it better, but it makes it a lot different than what regular people would hear, and that you can't really throw it away because you know there's funny stuff in your language or in your family's language that you have to be able to understand and not only know English but also something else, because that's what makes you unique. So I'm going to start off with Nancy and Cal. It's a story, it's a Jamaican story, it's a old Jamaican folk story that grandparents told kids generations after generations and generations. Nobody actually knows how long it has been told, but this lady, she is like the goddess of all the folk tales in Jamaica, and she has a story called Nancy and Cow. Basically, what is going to happen in the story is how it's the reason why cows don't go into cane fields anymore. So this is the English version. Once upon a time, there was a man. His name was Nancy. He was an ant. He was walking through his house. He looked in his refrigerator and he noticed he didn't have any food, so he started to worry because he had a family. He had 2 kids. Well, not 2 kids because he's a spider. He has like 1,000,000 kids. You can't really count that. And a wife, and he needed to feed all his children. So he was walking, and then he thought to himself, maybe I can go steal from a cane field and steal a piece of cane. So he went over to this man's house named Mr. Rounds. He had an entire farm with cane field, and Nancy stole a piece of cane. And as Nancy was running to get away from the farmer, he ran into the cow's butt. So the cow turned around like, Nancy, what is going on? What is happening? How are you doing? So Nancy, he's a quick thinker, so he could think of a plan faster than regular people could. So he thought, maybe if I could kill Cow, I can have him as family dinner. My family would have meat this time. So he thought to himself, maybe I can trick him and tell him that this sugar cane is hay, because the cow never came out of the farm before, because that's where he lives. He never once stepped foot out of the farm, so he doesn't know cane or like other stuff like regular people do. So he doesn't like suspect anybody of trying to kill him. So Nancy told him that he had this sweet piece of cane, and if he wanted to try it, he would gladly let him try it because he has a whole bunch of them at his house in his backyard. So Nancy gave Cow the sugar cane, and Cow ate it, and Cow kind of liked it because it's sugar cane. It doesn't taste regular like hay, because hay is pretty much hay, tastes like nothing, and sugar cane is sweet. So Cow kind of likes the sugar cane. So Nancy told Cow that if he came back to his house, he would get a lot of sugar cane. So Cow went along with it because Cow didn't suspect anything to actually happen when he was going to Nancy's house. He just thought that he was just going to go over there, get sugar cane, and go back where he came from. So on the journey, they were talking, laughing, like nothing pretty much happened, because that's how deceiving he is. That's how deceiving the entire world is. And Nancy knew what is going on and what is about to go down. And Cow didn't have any idea what was going to happen. So they made it to Nancy's house, and Nancy stopped Cow in front of the front yard and said, wait here, I'm going inside the house. I'm going to go get something and come back. He went inside the house and he got this really long rope and tied it to this really tall tree. And then he was about to put it around the cow's neck, and the cow said, why are you putting the rope around my neck? He said, because I don't want my kids to be scared of you. I don't want them to come home and see a big cow in my yard and get scared. And I don't want my wife to freak out. So I put the rope over the cow's neck and told him to wait here. He's going to the back. When he went to the back, he brought back a machete. For those who don't know what machete is, it's like a big knife / sword thing. So he brought it back, and Cow looked at him and said, what are you going to do with the machete? He said, I'm going to cut cane with it. He said, okay. Cow replied, okay. So Nancy thought, okay, if I can tell Cow to look up or look somewhere else, I can get a clear view of his neck and I can cut it off, and I will have him as dinner. So Nancy said, looked to Cow and pointed somewhere. He pointed at the tree or something and said, look over there. And Cow looked over there like, what is happening? And by complete coincidence, something flew by Cow's butt, and then the cow moved his tail. And then he kept moving around, and Nancy lifted up the machete to cut Cow, but because Cow was moving around, he made a mistake and cut the rope. And when he cut the rope, and Nancy pretty much missed, and he couldn't get it back. He couldn't get that opportunity back. And Cow, he was like, I gotta get out of here. He's trying to kill me. So Cow pretty much bulldozed through the gate, tearing it all down and caused a ruckus. And then everybody in the neighborhood came back because we are all nosy down there. If anything happens, everybody's gonna come out and look at it. So Cow ran away, and from that day on to now, Cow never goes back into the cane field. That's the English version. Probably never heard a story like that here before. So the Jamaican version is much more interesting and a lot funnier when you get to like really understand what I was saying. I'm not sure if she will replay this video after, so you can pick everything out as how I said it, but I bet you can understand some keywords because Patois is basically broken down English mixed with other words from other cultures and languages. So I'm gonna start the story again. It's the same thing. It's not any different. It's not a different story this time. So this side story about Anansi and Cow. And I gotta tell you, I want to make Cow never go back over cane piece. He said one day, Anansi they walk through his house and he look through the fridge and he look through the cover them and he said he don't have no food at all, and his belly they growling me. Me say Anansi hungry like a dog, and he know say he don't want him pitney them to go hungry because you know how much pitney Anansi have pitney all north, south, east and west, and he don't want him wife to go naga and ears up and what I load she load. Every minute he wants, he say Anansi me want this, Anansi me want that, and he bally and win time. Frankie say I have to go get food, so I go down and Mr. Brown cane piece and I go thief 14 cane. So long story short, Anansi reached down like cane piece and thief the cane, and Mr. Brown catch him. And in the road all the way, the dummy in him saying faster than me, don't know why faster than hurricane. So they run, not even see where they go. Now look where they go, and when you reach down there, lick up in a cow body, you see. And a cow turn around and say, Nancy, where they do? How you come back here, where they run from? And he say, me just come from over me here for you, man, and me have a nice piece of sweet here, and Nancy, him sneaky, he can't think of all of them, so he can't think of all of them. Like say, him a genius or something, so he think of that story, how he go get meat, he realize, say, oh, I just want a big piece of meat when he can't have himself and feed family to eat, and he can eat it whenever I want, and I like hungry belly, pity them go always have something to eat. So he think to himself, say, you know what, me can't get coffee for meat, you know, because I want a big piece of meat that he don't need, so you know what I go do, I go tell him, say, this is a cane piece here, a piece of sugar. So a piece of hair, so sugar cane, a piece of hair, I will carry him down and my yard, and I will cut off his neck, and then I go give him to my family. So, and Nancy turn around and tell Cow, say, he have one nice piece of hair, you know, say, yeah, sweeter than sweet hair, when you can ever taste in your life. So Cow say, alright, let me try a piece of cane. So Cow have a piece of cane with his big belly self. He say, greedy like a way, see. If he never ever near me cane, what happened to him would never happen to him. But so anyway, and as he say, Oh, you like a piece of cane? Me have wipe of them where they come from. And me have wipe of them. And me yard, me have wipe of them. And me not even know what to do with them. So I say, come on, follow me. Cause we go down on the yard. Me say then they walk on the road, you know. And then they walk and talk and they chat. Cause cow no know say nothing they happen. And Nancy swear, say him a big dan that I know saying they go kill cow cause they go have him for food. So they walk down there and then reach over Anansi yard. So when reach Anansi yard, Anansi say, "Go tap right so, tap right so." When me go in, I go get something and he go in and he come back out and he come back with one long piece of rope. You know, me say it rope long, me say it rope long, it's rope long, and he have one big old tree. So call up on him and say, "Anansi, where they go with that day?" He say, "Me know, me have to tie up, man. Me have to tie up, man. Cause if my family them come here and say you're not tie up, then you don't know if you're afraid. Then you go afraid. Remember, say when you want that walk past, you woman start run cause you see you. You know what, my family if afraid of your man, you're my friend." So Cole agree saying they go make Anansi tie him up. So Cole make Anansi put the rope around his neck, and then Anansi go back around her back and say, "Come, me soon come. Me I go for something." So Anansi go back around her back and come back with one big old machete. And then Cole look at him and say, "Where they go with that them man?" Anansi say, "Me have to go cut the sugar cane. Now where you want me to do? You want go over there go buy it up? I like to want come buy it up me cane. Me have to cut half it first no man." So he say, so Anansi say, alright, so now me have to catch him. I go tell him say, if you look pan us, and then he say, Cole, look there, what that there? And then Cole look up and say, what? And then see me no see it, and then so lick up on him back, you know, and Cole say, alright, tell her what that there? And then jump up and down, you know, and then jump up and down, and say, Nancy, so lick me body. And then Nancy chop him rope by mistake and hold and give some one chop. What an half I come and then cut off his neck. I cut off the rope and he call say, "Rat hit and Nancy a try to kill me, I run out tired." When he run him ball and he move, all like people never come out. So brother dog and brother pig, all of them something they come out. And brother dog already know where Anansi do things, so in brother dog would never go back over Anansi yard. And from this idea, could never go over King Peace. There is no expressing an old story in a different language, because it is an old story, it's an old folk tale. You are gonna tell it how you already knew how to say it. Yeah, in the English version I was making a lot of mistakes because that's not my first language. I have to sit here and actually think up the actual story in English for a way for you to actually understand what is going on. But there is no way you can actually express the funny moments and the sorrowful moments, or what is supposed to bring laughter or message to the heart in a different language. You have to take it from your actual language. Yeah, you have to learn you don't have to learn how to speak English, but it's a criteria. You kind of need it to do a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean you have to throw away your first language, because without it you wouldn't even be able to know what language is in the first place. So basically you can't really throw away what you have to say. Imagine your grandmother ever told you a story, and when you ever try to tell it back to your friend, you can never tell it the way how she told it, because you don't actually have her words. But when you're in Jamaica or you're from another country, you can say it in your own language and the jokes won't pass by or fly over somebody's head, because you kind of know what you're talking about. So you tell every part with the most expressive you can, with the most emotion you can put in there, because that's how you learn how to do it in the first place. But when you throw everything away that you've ever learned, you don't really you can't do what you used to do. You can't make the funny moments funny. You don't want to have the story, the joke, or the sorrow lost in translation.